you're not gonna believe what I did. I actually switched my mom's meds with sugar pills. Yeah. Seriously. Because, she kept saying I was too dramatic. Like, excuse me? Me? Dramatic? That's rich, coming from her. My name's Savannah, and I'm 28. And honestly, this whole thing? It was her fault. Totally. I probably should have seen it coming, though. She always had a way of getting under my skin. Always. It all started, I guess, ages ago. My mom, Brenda, yeah, I know, another Brenda, what is it with Brendas? She's just, a lot. Always has been. The kind of mom who thinks she knows everything, even when she clearly doesn't. She'd give me unsolicited advice, and then when I'd try to explain my side, she'd just wave her hand and go, "Oh, Savannah, you're being so dramatic. It's not that serious." Like every single time. Invalidating feelings, score. Seriously, she always had to have the last word. She's always been pretty particular about her health. Took a whole cocktail of pills every morning for her blood pressure, her cholesterol, her, whatever else old people take. She'd line them up on the counter, all neat and organized. And she'd make a big show of it, too. Oh, my heart medicine. Can't miss this one. Like she was some kind of martyr. Between us, I wanted to scream. So, one day, we were having one of our conversations. Which is really just her telling me what I'm doing wrong. I was telling her about this huge fight I had with my boyfriend, Liam. He was being such a jerk, totally not listening to me, just like she always does. And I was, upset. Crying a little. Because it was serious. And what does she do? She sighs, looks at me with this pitying gaze, and goes, "Savannah, you're so dramatic. Why do you always make such a big deal out of everything?" That was it. That was the last straw. Something just clicked. Like a light bulb went off. Dramatic? Oh, I'll show you dramatic. My brain started whirring. A split second, and the whole idea just formed, fully baked. She had her pill box right there on the counter. And next to it, a little dish of peppermints, which she always called her sugar pills because they were just for comfort. And the pills, some of them looked exactly like those peppermints. White, round. Perfect. The next morning, while she was still asleep, she always sleeps in, that one, I crept into the kitchen. My heart was pounding, but it was also this weird, exhilarating feeling. I opened her pill box, took out a few of her actual pills, and replaced them with the peppermints. Just a few at first. Like a test. Just to see. She didn't notice a thing. Of course not. She just swallowed them down with her morning coffee, oblivious. And that's when I realized, holy crap, what happened next? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It was so easy. Too easy. Over the next few weeks, I started doing it more. A few more of her important pills. Sometimes I'd swap out all of them for a day, just to see what would happen. She was still her usual self, nagging me, telling me how I needed to calm down and not be so sensitive. I'd just smile and nod. Meanwhile, in my head, I was like, "Oh, you have no idea, old lady." She was always complaining about feeling tired, or a little dizzy sometimes. And I'd just say, "Oh, Mom, maybe you're just being dramatic. Getting older and all." Passive-aggressive communication? Check. Subtle digs disguised as jokes. And she'd just huff, never quite catching on. She was just so set in her ways, so stubborn, always thinking she was right. What a burnt-out kind of personality, exhausted, like she used to try but gave up on everything, emotionally numb. I started keeping a mental tally, Scorekeeping. Every time she told me I was dramatic, another pill got swapped. Every time she dismissed my feelings, another sugar pill went in. It was like a little game. And I was winning. My job was, well, it was a job. Nothing exciting. Just at an office, doing whatever. I kept my work life and my home life completely separate. My boss, she was always asking about my personal life, like she had a right to know. I'd just smile and say, everything's fine, while internally calling her a nosy bitch. Seriously, some women just can't mind their own business. Liam, my boyfriend, was okay. Kind of a too nice guy, honestly. Always trying to avoid conflict, people pleaser. He'd ask about my mom sometimes, all concerned. Is she doing okay, safe? And I'd just shrug. She's fine. Just being mom. I'd tell him all about her annoying habits, making her sound like the villain. He'd just nod along, poor thing. I used my vulnerability, too. Oh, Liam, you just don't understand how hard it is with my mom. She just never validates my feelings. It's like my whole life, I've had to deal with this. Weaponized vulnerability. Always works. He'd give me a big hug and say how sorry he was. One time, she actually tried to compare me to my cousin, Bethany. Bethany is so much more grounded, Savannah. You could learn a thing or two from her. Oh, comparison creator, are we? That really got me. So, the next day, a whole new batch of pills got swapped. Full container. I just replaced the entire thing with sugar pills. That'll show her. She started getting really off. Forgetful. Confused. She'd lose her keys, then accuse me of hiding them. She'd get lost going to the grocery store she'd been going to for 20 years. And her blood pressure, which she used to brag about being perfectly normal, was all over the place. She'd get these weird dizzy spells. I'd always act concerned, of course. Oh, Mom, are you feeling okay? You seem a little out of it. And then, when she'd complain, I'd sigh and say, well, Mom, maybe you're just being dramatic. You know, you're not getting any younger. See? Still zero accountability. It was never my fault. She was just old. She went to the doctor a lot. And they kept changing her dosages, adding new meds. Because her blood pressure was really high sometimes, and then really low other times. And her cholesterol was through the roof. I just sat there, listening, pretending to be worried, while the doctor was scratching his head. It's very unusual, Brenda, your numbers are all over the place. Are you taking your medication consistently? And she'd look at me, and I'd give her this innocent, wide-eyed look. Of course, doctor. She takes them every single day, right on time. She'd nod, a little confused herself. Gaslighting expert. Make her question her own memory. This went on for months. Maybe even a year. It's hard to remember the exact timeline when you're in the thick of it. My mom was getting progressively worse. She was becoming more and more frail. She started having trouble walking, sometimes. Falling, even. I had to help her around the house, which was annoying, honestly. She'd get mad at me for not being attentive enough. Savannah, you need to be more careful with me. And I'd just roll my eyes. The financial entanglement was real, too. She had some money, but I expected her to cover a lot of my expenses, since I was taking care of her. She'd pay for my car repairs, my phone bill. My money? That was for me. She always complained about how expensive everything is these days, but she still coughed it up. I'd just say, well, Mom, if you weren't so stubborn, maybe things would be easier. Then, one day, she fell really hard. Like, hit her head on the coffee table. There was blood everywhere. It was a mess. And she was just lying there, kind of moaning. My panic thought was, oh crap, did I go too far? But then, instantly, I was like, no. She was always so dramatic. I called an ambulance. They took her to the hospital. And that's when things got really real. The doctors did a full workup. They saw how erratic her vitals were, how unstable she was. They asked me a million questions. Has she been confused lately? Disoriented? Has she had any falls before? And I just nodded, playing the concerned daughter. Yes, doctor, she's been really going downhill. It's so worrying. They kept her in the hospital for a few days. And they put her on a drip, giving her all her meds intravenously, making sure she was actually getting them. And wouldn't you know it? Her numbers stabilized. Her blood pressure went back to normal. Her cholesterol went down. She started making sense again. She was still a little confused from the fall, but she was definitely more lucid. The doctors were stumped. They couldn't figure out why she was so unstable at home, and then suddenly stable in the hospital. They even suggested she might have been not taking her meds. And I just scoffed. No way. I watch her take them every day. But then, one of the nurses, a little bitch who always looked at me funny, pulled me aside. She said, "Ms. Williams, we're seeing a very unusual pattern here. And your mother keeps mentioning a peppermint taste. Are you sure she's taking her actual medication?" My heart stopped. She knew. That little witch knew. I tried to bluster, "What are you talking about?" Of course she is. But my voice was shaky. And then, the nurse, she just smiled, a cold, knowing smile. "Well, we found these in her pillbox." And she held up a small plastic bag. Full of peppermints. From my mom's pillbox. She must have found them when she was cleaning out her things. My face went blank. For a second. Then I just started crying. Fake tears, of course. Oh my God. She must be so confused. She must have switched them herself. She's really gone downhill. Weaponized insecurity, like using her age against her. But the nurse wasn't buying it. Not for a second. She looked at me with pure disdain. And then she walked away. The next day, social services showed up. And the police. Someone had reported me. That little bitch nurse, I just know it. They asked me questions. So many questions. And I tried to lie, tried to gaslight, tried to blame my mom, tried to play the victim. She's so dramatic. She's always making things up. She's just confused. But it wasn't working. They took me away. Not to jail, not right away. But they took me to a police station. And they kept me there for hours. Asking me about the pills. About the sugar pills. About my mom's health. I kept trying to say it was her fault, that she was just being dramatic. But they just kept looking at me like I was a monster. Then, they charged me. For elder abuse. For negligence. For, like, endangering her life. My mom, she got out of the hospital. But she didn't come home. They put her in a long-term care facility. And they took her away from me. Relationship devastation. She moved on with a new life, away from me. And my job? Gone. Fired. Immediately. Professional destruction. No one would hire me. My reputation? Destroyed. People at work, people I knew from high school, everyone knew. Complete social collapse. I tried to explain myself, but no one listened. They just looked at me with disgust. Liam, my boyfriend, he broke up with me. Said he couldn't be with someone who could do something like that. "You're sick, Savannah," he said. Truly sick. He just walked away. Just like that. Now? I'm living in this tiny, awful room. I have no money. No job. No friends. My mom is in that facility, and she doesn't even want to see me. She just says, "You did this to me, Savannah." And I'm like, "Me? No. You were being dramatic." She just looks at me with this empty stare. Do I regret what I did? No. I regret how it all turned out. I regret getting caught. I regret that it blew up in my face. But my choices? No. She deserved it. She really did. She was always saying I was too dramatic. Well, look who's being dramatic now. It's her fault. All of it. I don't care anymore. Not about her, not about Liam, not about anyone who isn't on my side. I was just trying to teach her a lesson. And now I'm paying the price for her drama. It's just so unfair.